Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and sitting right next to me is my brother Tommy. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
And joining us once again this week, twice in 1 week. This is a rare opportunity, but I'm so happy. It's our good brother from the Bulletcast. It's Philip. How's it going, man?
Baby Huey, it's Sunday night. I put a hold of my other plans with some friends because, you know what? I care about you. I care about Tommy. I care about In The Kliq. That's what I do. That's why I'm the microphone messiah. That's why I'm the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today. That's why I'm the Valkyrie King of the Great White North in my honorary home of Canada.
I love it. So, for the Kliqsters listening right now, might be a little confused, thinking, wait a sec, it's a Sunday night. Where's Richard? I was like thinking Tommy Boy, but Richard.
We wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors.
No, it's not that. I can start crazy rumors. Look at Philip laughing. No. By all means, I want to give Philip a big thank you for stepping in very last minute, subbing very last minute. Literally, I texted Philip probably 45 minutes ago and asked if he can jump on and record with us tonight. So Richard is a little under the weather. He just texted me a little while ago and he wasn't able to record tonight. So he said, if you guys want to hold off till Monday, then he'll be available. But then we said, if you want to record tonight, then maybe see if someone else is available. So Philip, you were the first one. I text right away and you made yourself available. Thank you so much for doing that. I truly appreciate that, respect that. And
big props.
And I'm sorry you had to put off your other plans tonight, but we're back at Talk Some Wrestling. And, it's kind of a rare situation. Usually you talk AEW on In The Kliq. This week it was a special one. We talked Raw and AEW, which by all means, go back one episode and listen to that as well. We had some fun discussing all the highlights from both shows this week. But also, so Philip, you're here tonight. We're going to talk some NXT. We're going to talk some Smackdown. And we're going to talk about stuff getting ready for WrestleMania week, NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. And also we're going to break down the updated card for WrestleMania 37. So a lot of stuff to talk about. So first things first, as always, remember, subscribe to In The Kliq on your favorite podcast platform. And also email us anytime, inthekliq@gmail.com. Get the merch by clicking the link in our bio on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So can't thank the Kliqsters enough for all the continuous support. All right, let's jump right into it. So Wednesday night, NXT this week. Man, this was an action-packed show. Tommy, you and I actually watched it twice. We watched it live on Wednesday night, and then we just watched it again this afternoon.
A lot of hard-hitting action.
Yes.
A lot of captivating drama on this show.
Yeah, dude. So, Philip, Tommy and I both were just really intrigued and excited for this episode because they really did a lot of building up for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, which is now less than 2 weeks away. And so this show really just set up the rest of the card. We had a couple matches already announced beforehand, but now they really set everything in motion for 2 nights. Wednesday, let me double check what's the night for that. It was going to be Wednesday, April 7th. That's going to be on the USA Network. And then the next night number 2, will be Thursday, April 8th on Peacock. That's going to be the week everything's officially over on the Peacock Network now, or WWE Network, I should say, under that umbrella.
Peacock, yeah.
Peacock. So it's... Man, a lot of announcements came out from this show. So let's do what kind of, Philip, what you and I did the other night, where we'll kind of run down the updated card for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, but also recapping the highlights of NXT and what led to these matches being created and officially being finalized, I should say. So night number 1 of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, the main event is going to be Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez. And as we saw on NXT this week, the opening match had Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai taking on Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. And Zoe Stark is still one of the newer signees to NXT, but she's been just delivering all her matches that she's been in so far. She's been really entertaining. She's one of those free agent signs that they had recently. Tommy, you and I were just really impressed with just her.
Oh, she's a tremendous talent.
Yeah, she's just really explosive in the ring, and she was holding her own with everyone in there. And for her, this is a big moment, Philip. The fact that you're in the ring with Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai, who are all veterans of the NXT women's brand. So that must say a lot about Zoe Stark's value, what people behind the scenes think of her.
Yeah, this was my first time actually seeing her because I haven't been keeping up on NXT. I watched the other show. Yeah, I was like, oh, who's this? And you know, she impressed me with the little I've seen from her. I mean, to be in there with Shirai and then Dakota Kai and I used to call her Sonya Deville Jr. But Raquel gets her name now. She earned it. The first ever women's tag team titles in NXT, which I still have my problems with that.
Yeah.
But, we all totally understand.
It was fine for the new girl to get some shine in there with those people of that caliber.
Yeah, she was very explosive, I thought, and then she started the match against Raquel Gonzalez, and Raquel, obviously the bigger out of the two, was really kind of showing her strength and pushing her around a little bit, but Zoe wasn't giving up, and then once Io Shirai came in with the hot tag, she was going all over the place, so much fun. Raquel Gonzalez was booked very strong, especially for this ending, where she was in the process of doing a power slam, a one-arm power slam that's like her finisher on Zoe Stark, and then Io Shirai was climbing the rope, and she kicked Io Shirai.
Oh, yeah.
And then did the one-arm power bomb and got the pin.
Very impressive.
So Raquel Gonzalez was, even though it's a tag team match, she was left looking strong in this finish here. And then afterwards, she grabbed Io Shirai on the outside and powerbombed her on the announce table. And Io Shirai yelled out this immense amount of pain, like, oh!
Just grimacing in pain.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God. Like, Tommy and I were watching it. We rewound it a couple times.
It was rather cringy to watch.
I mean, the replay of it was like, ow, that looked like it really hurt. Just landing on her back and the sound of pain that was coming out of her mouth.
It was one of those things where, like, if you get hit, you're like, ah.
Yeah, it's like on Family Guy, when he's like, when he hurts his knee or something, like his shin. Yeah, Peter Griffin.
Yeah, you go one of those. I mean, but are they going to put the title on Raquel? That's the real question. Because if not her, then who?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Io Shirai, God, she won the title in Your House last year?
Yeah, last June, yeah.
And God, that's almost a year ago now.
Almost a year.
She's had almost a full year.
And she's had a great run.
Absolutely. Io Shirai, she has beaten every opponent thrown her way. She's had great matches. I don't know at this point. Who else could it be?
You know what? This is kind of a true Diesel-Shawn moment because Diesel got the title before Shawn.
Man,
yeah,
when you look at the comparison of Diesel and Shawn and Dakota and Raquel,
yeah.
So I mean,
that could work.
And there was a little tension last week on NXT as well between them, as far as Raquel trying to take care of her own business, but Dakota is like, well, we still got stuff to do together. So
yeah.
Here's another tidbit. Diesel holds the tag title. He held the IC and the world title all in the same year.
Yeah.
I mean, Dakota and Raquel, they're tag champions, and then you possibly win the top title in NXT for the woman within the course of like a couple weeks. That's interesting.
It's interesting. Also, I will say this: NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. My big observation is the winners and losers of these matches, and then whoever loses. Are these going to be people who are going to be moved on up to Raw or SmackDown? Because, it is WrestleMania week. So those post-WrestleMania call-ups always happen. And so Io Shirai is one of them. And there's some other ones we'll get into as we go down the rest of the card. But Io Shirai, she's been champion for almost a year. She's beaten everyone thrown at her. Could she get called up, in a couple weeks from now on Raw or SmackDown? Because you see Rhea Ripley just finally made her debut. Mm-hmm. So are they going to be due for some more call-ups? And that's the thing, too. It's like WWE, keep in mind, like, for them, they got to keep the rosters fresh on Raw and SmackDown, like fresh matchups. Io Shirai be a fresh, amazing opponent for the women's division for Raw or SmackDown. And then you think about NXT, they got so many people at that performance center training, working out, new talent that they got to bring in, start giving some TV time. So it's going to be, I think, a shift of roster from one show to the other to make room for people. So, I mean, as much as I love Io Shirai, she's been amazing. So many, oh my God, moments. I really just early prediction. I can see Raquel winning this. She's been on a tear. She's been booked very strong for what, the last 6 months? I mean,
6 months.
It's like what, Halloween Havoc. From that point on, she's been booked very strong. Mm-hmm. I could see her winning, just start her own title reign, and then very much, Philip, as you mentioned, just Raquel and Dakota, that Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Be like what WrestleMania 11 all over again. Exactly. So that could be something right there. Raquel and Dakota can have something, a program.
I mean, but if she gets the title, will she stand and deliver?
Absolutely. I think so.
We'll see.
But Zoe Stark, I will say this. My one thing with her is her ring gear is very basic. Like, you could tell she just came from the independent scene. Or what was that? So,
but I like it.
No, but I'm saying, like, with NXT, there's a lot of people who start out, have like their basic ring gear, and then over time they transform under NXT. So you look at like Io Shirai. Remember, Io Shirai had more of a basic, like the red outfit, and now she has the more colorful ring attire she has now.
But yeah, she also has more of a kind of a dark kind of look. It's kind of like when she wears like the black and yellow or the gold. It's kind of like Bruce Lee's look in what the famous one he
the dragon one. Or?
No. Game of Death.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, it was Zoe Stark. That's someone I want to keep my eye on. Just, I love the way she works in the ring. She's a great worker. And the fact that she's in this match with those three other competitors, those NXT veterans, I think says a lot about her and her stock value. So I cannot wait to see where she goes. I think she works a lot better than some of the other people who've been there for a minute. And so I'm really looking forward to see what she does next for NXT. But yeah, so just the fact that Raquel was booked so strong in this match, I think says a lot, maybe what's in her future for NXT. So, let's see. Next up, as it was announced, Danny Burch had the separated shoulder. He's going to be out for 6 months. So, unfortunately, him and Oney Lorcan had to vacate the NXT Tag Team Championship. And then William Regal went ahead and announced that MSK, the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma will have a triple threat match for the vacant NXT titles at NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver on night one. So, For me, I think you go from a heel to keep it on another heel team. And I think Grizzled Young Veterans, who were in the finals of the Dusty Cup, I think maybe they should win it and then have MSK go after them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you, Phil. Did you have any...
the obvious thing is MSK, but what about... Legado del Fantasma, what about them? That's a sleeper. That's a sleeper that can come in and pick up the win. And then you got Santos doing his thing at TakeOver. That's nice.
That's too. And then their faction, that really boosts their faction's value with having all the gold belts. So I'm with you. I could potentially see that play out as well. So, we'll see, maybe what they do with next week's episode of SmackDown and then the go home show. No, actually, wait.
NXT.
Next week, NXT will be the go home show.
Right.
So, because then the following Wednesday will be night one. So, hopefully a lot of questions will be answered next episode. And then something very interesting they announced. So they announced for the NXT North American Championship. It's a 2-parter. So they're going to have a 6-man gauntlet eliminator match on night 1. The winner of that will take on Johnny Gargano for night 2. And then this coming episode of NXT, they're going to have a battle royal, I want to say. Let's see. Let me just double check here. So it's a little convoluted, and there's some people. It's a little difficult to describe it all. But let's see. Do they have it?
So I think they're doing what
AEW's done, right?
They're doing a battle royal, and then the last 6 participants compete on night 1 in a 6-pack challenge, and the winner of that faces Gargano on night 2 for the North American title.
Exactly. Right. So, the 12 participants are going to be wrestling next week, and then the final 6 are going to be in that gauntlet match. So, I mean, there's so many different ways they can go. My early pick is probably Dexter Lumis, just because he already has some beef with Johnny Gargano and the way already. So I think that's probably the obvious choice. I mean, Austin Theory is also in this battle royal next week, so maybe he could be in it, and then it could be the Way member versus the Way member.
What are they gonna do? Finger poke of doom?
Maybe it'd be like Johnny be like, I don't like this, because we saw Johnny Gargano after it was announced. He went storming to William Regal's office while wearing the title. William Regal's busting his balls. Why are you wearing that championship around your belt? He's like, I'm a champion. So I thought that was kind of funny. But
I'm not going to close the door.
And when he left, I'm not going to close. Johnny Gargano's been great as this current heel run he's on. But anyway, so he's upset. He's like, man, whoever wins, I have less than 24 hours to plan for this. This is not fair. So maybe Austin Theory wins, and he tells him the next night, you just lay down for me, and that way I can just win and retain my title. But I think Dexter Lumis might be the obvious pick, just because they already have a storyline kind of going already still. So we'll see how that goes. And then next up, it was announced this week, Tommaso Ciampa is going to be taking on NXT UK champion Walter on night 1 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Tommy and I loved this whole segment, how it played out on NXT this week. So it was announced that Walter was going to have a match on NXT Prime, which is great. We haven't seen him actually wrestle in a long time.
Yeah.
He took on Drake Maverick. It was a non-title match.
And it was just a squash match.
Philip, it was such a squash. Literally, it was 3 moves. So the bell rings. Drake Maverick comes running after Walter.
Tries to throw
a bunch of punches at him. Walter literally picks him up, slams him down, and then picks him up again, does a power bomb, and then
puts him in a leg lock.
A leg lock submission, and Drake Maverick's done. Yeah. Like, he's dead. Like, he's just completely gone. Even Drake Maverick had a tweet out the next day, I'm still alive.
Yeah,
so I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, Imperium's in the ring. They're kind of celebrating. Alexander Wolf has not been in the ring. He hasn't been on TV in a few weeks. I hope he's okay. I don't know where he's been.
Probably COVID.
Well, we want to assume whatever, but anytime someone's off TV for multiple weeks, you kind of assume because of the pandemic that we're in. But Tommaso Ciampa comes down to the ring, and he said, he cuts a promo and said, I wanted a match with you, but now I really want a match for that NXT UK championship. And Walter at first said, no, I don't want to do it. And he starts walking out, and Ciampa gets in his face, starts fighting him. Imperium outnumber him. Walter grabs the necklace, rips it off. Ciampa gets real upset. For anyone who doesn't know, I believe the necklace has a picture of his daughter in there, so that's the significant value for him. And then Walter starts slapping the S out of Ciampa. Dude, it was brutal, Philip. So I love Walter. I love everything he's been doing in NXT UK. I'm so happy he's making this appearance here on NXT, especially for WrestleMania week. It makes sense. It's the biggest week in the year for WWE, so all the stars from around the world coming over here for this. How about you? Are you excited for a Walter match?
Couple things. I didn't know Tommaso Ciampa was looking like that. Oh boy.
He's looking like a homeless guy.
Yo, Yo, that's not the psycho killer that I remember. Like, what's you got on the camo dad short? Like, what's happened to that?
The cargo
dude?
shorts. Yeah,
it's really been interesting. Ciampa in the last year, he's just been kind of floating. He'll make an appearance, get into a program with someone, then disappears for a while, and then comes back. So
yeah.
I guess that's kind of cool.
He doesn't want to leave NXT. That's what he said, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
you're just gonna do this forever?
And that's the thing. That's my thing. It's like, how long can you do this where it just kind of comes kind of old, stale? That's my only concern.
It would be like, let's say Vince was like, I want to put you in a program with your Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. Have a nice, good story. I'll stay here in NXT and face Oney Lorcan. You're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. It's like he's kind of wrestled everyone there.
He's done everything that there is to do. I mean, the whole Walter thing. I kind of want only people from the UK to wrestle for the United Kingdom title. I feel like that'd be a nice little rule or whatever. But look at the European title. Sean and Hunter and D'Lo had it, so you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's different. I noticed when Ciampa slapped Walter kind of went down to one knee. So I'm like, oh, put him over a little bit. Let's see.
So the thing here, when they started beating him down, Ciampa was wearing a Timothy Thatcher shirt, and they ripped it off.
Yep.
Thatcher has been on TV in a couple weeks. I think kayfabe, they said Imperium beat him up or something, allegedly.
Yeah.
What's his role in this match? Remember, Imperium were trying to recruit him, and Ciampa told him, no, you're with me. You don't need to join them. So I'm already anticipating Thatcher's going to turn on Ciampa and join Imperium, and then maybe he can be... I don't know what Alexander Wolf's status is right now. Maybe Thatcher can be the fourth member filling in. Maybe he can be like the U.S. representative.
Yeah, the British Messiah that's from Sacramento. Yeah.
And so I don't know what he's going to be doing or how Thatcher and Imperium is going to play out here. And then maybe Ciampa goes after Imperium afterwards some more.
Could be a 5-man group.
Yeah, 5-man group. I mean, you look at... Inner Circle / the Pinnacle, what AEW is doing. They're doing like 5-man groups now. And so I don't know. It's going to be interesting what they do with Ciampa and Walter and how this plays out. The other thing too is, listen, I doubt we're going to get like a Worlds Collide this year because just obviously the pandemic is still going on. So I like this compromise where they're bringing in people from NXT UK to still make an appearance on this big takeover show. So as a good, compromise of not having full-blown NXT versus NXT UK type show, we're still getting some of those type of matches. So Ciampa versus Walter is one of them.
But aren't they? They're doing NXT UK Prelude though. They're doing that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's going to be happening on Thursday the 9th, and I think Walter's defending against Rampage Brown. Tommy, is that right?
Yeah, that's what it's looked like.
Hey, I loved him in What Culture Pro Wrestling. I loved Rampage Brown there.
He's a big man.
And so, I'm guessing that was pre-taped already.
Yeah.
But the fact that Walter's defending the NXT UK Championship there, is that kind of foreshadowing that Walter's going to win here on Wednesday night? So the night before this NXT UK show airs, Walter... So we're going to get 2 Walter matches in 1 week, one on NXT TakeOver and then one NXT UK the next day. So I kind of think it's kind of safe bet Walter's retaining this championship here.
But it's going to be just a massacre.
Yes,
both those matches are going to be fire.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, this Walter Ciampa match might be the best match of the whole week.
Yeah.
You know the real match I'm waiting for, though, right?
What is it?
Walter defends the UK title against Baby Huey.
Like
the Bullet Cats title versus the UK title for title.
You want me to represent you?
Oh, I'll walk you down to the ring.
Okay.
I'm not taking a chop, but I'll bump for you. I'll bump for you a little bit.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And so that's so far for night 1. Night 2, of course, we've known this already. Finn Balor will be defending the NXT UK Championship against Carrion Cross.
UK? You mean the NXT Championship?
What I said? Yeah, NXT Championship. Sorry. Still thinking about Walter.
Yeah, there you go.
So Finn Balor will be defending the NXT Championship against Carrion Cross. And so this week, we saw Carrion Cross have a really good match with Oney Lorcan. See, Carrion Cross, I think, what he might lack in the ring technically can get covered up if he's in the ring with a really good worker. And this is another example of that. Oney Lorcan, great worker in the ring. And so Karrion Kross really, I think, did a good job of keeping it simple and like just showing off his brutal, strong force in the ring and just doing these big power moves on Oney Lorcan. And Oney Lorcan will be doing more of the technical things. Like there was this one spot outside, Oney Lorcan was trying to get him, and then Karrion Kross, I think, suplexed him on the outside. Simple spot. I loved it. That way you kind of hide maybe some of Karrion Kross's weaknesses. So I think for him, in order to make him maintain looking strong, you put him in the ring with a good worker who can help and make him look strong in most situations. So this match, Oney Lorcan, was taking a lot of beating from Karrion Kross here. Ultimately, Karrion Kross picked up the victory. Afterwards, he grabs the microphone, starts cutting a promo, and just calls out Finn Balor in their matchup between the two of them at TakeOver. Then Finn Balor comes out to the ring, and I really enjoyed what Finn Balor had to say here. I think this is one of his better promos. And so Balor suggested that demons were when a person fights with uncontrollable emotion, something he has mastered since returning to NXT. He also said, last week, Kross, you took your best shot, and the prince is still standing. But what you really done last week is you showed me your weakness. You see, when a man's young, he fights with emotion, uncontrollable emotion. Some people call it demons, but really it's just an emotion. It wasn't until I learned to control my emotion, to be cold, that I became untouchable in the ring. You still fight with emotion. Everything you do is a reaction. And in those moments, you're sloppy. In those moments, you're vulnerable. At TakeOver Stand Deliver, I'm going to push you to the point where you only have two options. One, you surprise everyone and you master your emotions. Or two, what I believe will happen is a repeat of last week and your emotions master you. And when they do, I'm going to drag you into the cold, deep water with no emotion. I'm going to drown you. Wow. So
heavy stuff.
I thought that was very powerful because, one, it kind of just shows that's why the Demon Finn Balor hasn't been around for a long time, especially since he's been back in NXT. The point being is when you wrestle with a lot of emotion, those are your demons coming out. And the fact that he hasn't go to that demon mode shows he's been able to control his emotions and really be focused in the ring. On the other hand, Karrion Kross, when like Scarlett Bordeaux got knocked down, that's when he got all crazy. And therefore, someone who shows a lot of emotion in the ring like that can be very sloppy. And when he's sloppy, that's where Finn Balor feels he's going to be able to capitalize and take him down. So, Philip, what do you think of Finn Balor's promo right there?
That makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, just coming that relates to like other sports as well. I mean, you like get guys, they get in their head and they make one mistake and somebody catches them and boom. You know, you've lost, and I think that was very powerful. I understand that, but I'm trying to think. So if Finn's not going to bring the demon out for Carrion, who does he bring it out for?
See, that was my thing. Was before Karrion Kross got injured and he became champion really quickly in his time in NXT, I thought he was going to have a pretty lengthy title reign and he was going to beat up everyone. And I thought that the one person who will finally dethrone him was going to be Finn Balor, but Finn Balor would have to go to demon mode to defeat him. Well, obviously, based on this promo, it sounds like he doesn't need, in his mind, he doesn't need to go demon mode. He can take him out the way he is right now. So that's kind of interesting. You know, if one day we ever have like a shoot interview with Finn Balor or Karrion Kross, I would love to know what were the original plans when Karrion Kross became NXT champion the first time, and what were the long-term goals, who was going to be the one to eventually dethrone him. I really thought, because Karrion Kross, the way last year they booked him so strong as this monster that no one could beat him, he was squashing everyone. I really thought the one person who was going to be able to beat him was Demon Finn Balor, but we're not going to get that, it sounds like, here. I don't know when we'll ever see that again. I guess the point for him, he's just trying to say is like, you know what, I don't need to go there. I've mastered my craft where I can do it as who I am.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like he probably doesn't need to go there. I mean, there's a reason why Finn Balor said he doesn't watch this business. This business watches him. Because he's at another level right now. You know, we talk about Roman being consistently one of the best things in WWE.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Finn. Finn's been doing some good work there also. I mean, the matches with Kyle O'Reilly, the matches with Adam Cole, getting in that whole little mix-up, and now the stuff with Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
This is at the end of the year, we could be looking at Finn Balor having an awesome 2021.
And that's my question is, as I mentioned earlier, with this show, the winners and losers, it kind of might dictate their future as far as do they stay at the NXT or do they get called up. Now, this match here, the loser, could you see the loser of this match get moved over to Raw or SmackDown? Finn Balor, you know, he went back after being off WWE TV for a long time. It looked like his character wasn't going to go anywhere. He took some time off, and then he asked to be sent back down to NXT. And they granted that, and he's been having a big resurgence. Obviously, he became NXT champion. He's been putting on some banger matches with Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, even Adam Cole. I don't know if that was the plan. I think the original plan was more of a short-term thing, but the fact that he's been down there this long now for, over a year and a half, maybe that's where he wants to be. Or maybe he feels like maybe he's accomplished everything and maybe he is due to go back to Raw or SmackDown. Karrion Kross, on the other hand, there were rumors that he recently went over to Tropicana Field, had a meeting with Vince McMahon. I don't know. Maybe his time in NXT can be extremely short. Let me ask you this, Philip. Out of these two, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, do you think the loser should be moved on over to Raw or SmackDown?
I think they should both stay in NXT for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point because there's someone else who I think might get called up soon, and therefore if them and one other person leaves, the main event title scene can be really thin. And so I could see both of them staying just to keep the main event scene really strong there. I don't know about you, Tommy. What do you think? Do you think Finn, Carrion, the loser, should go to Raw or SmackDown?
No, I think they should have, somewhat of a rivalry going in NXT and, just builds momentum for, the brand.
Throughout the spring and early summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, it's with Karrion Kross's wrestling style, though, I think he would do a lot better on Raw or SmackDown, just that work rate, his style. Since he's not the most technical wrestler, NXT's more known for the technical wrestling, it'd probably be better for him to go to Raw or SmackDown sooner rather than later, and especially with his entrance. That entrance will be money in front of an actual live crowd.
Yeah.
Imagine that live crowd like next year's WrestleMania or something. That would be huge for him. So, man, it's really interesting with Karrion Kross. I mean, I think they signed him for a reason last year. He was the big free agent signing. I don't know if they want to keep him long-term in NXT or they really want him on Raw or SmackDown soon. It's really tough. I really need to think about this more because Finn Balor's been on a roll and like he could be the one to actually put Karrion Kross in his place. But I could see Karrion Kross defeating Finn Balor, regain the title that he never lost. He only lost because of injury. And then Finn Balor building up his good momentum. He's a recognizable face and people know him on the bigger shows. So by going back to the big shows, that can really be a big boost, maybe potentially a little bit of a ratings bump for those shows. I don't know. There's so many different ways to break this down. So, also, let's see. Yeah, Johnny Gargano taking on the winner of the Gauntlet Eliminator match. We talked about that. Jordan Devlin wrestled this week on NXT. He had a match against Kushida here. Really good match. Philip, Tommy, and I were watching it earlier. Man, it was super technical. A lot of submission attempts, stretch holds on the mat. Jordan Devlin had an amazing moonsault out of the ring. That was just beautiful hang time and it was like so smooth. Ultimately, Legado del Fantasma came out of the ramp. We're kind of staring him down, kind of, eyeballing him from a distance. Kushida and Jordan Devlin tried to brush it off, but they kept going. they were getting closer to the ring. Jordan Devlin rolled up Kushida and had him in a bridge, like made a bridge hold, and was able to get out a quick victory. So Jordan Devlin won here. Kushida was pissed. He jumps outside the ring, take out members of Legado del Fantasma, runs on the ramp, jumps on the two guys, and takes them out. And then Santos Escobar goes into the ring, has a big stare down with Jordan Devlin, and they're both mouthing to each other like, who's the real NXT Cruiserweight champion? And then as they're staring at each other, mouthing it off, all of a sudden we hear his music. Shawn Michaels, HBK's theme song hits. He comes walking down to the ring, strutting down, and very simple storytelling. Reaches under the ring, pulls out one ladder, throws it inside the ring, slides it in there, and just points at it and just walks away. Message loud and clear. Philip, please explain to the younger people out there who don't understand the significance of that.
Well, you see, my homie Shawn Michaels, greatest in-ring performer that's ever done it. You know, at WrestleMania 10, he and Razor Ramon had a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Shawn, he was going through some stuff, so he left with the Intercontinental title. They had another one made. Razor won it. Shawn comes back. No, I'm the champion. Razor, no, I'm the champion. So what do? They put both titles above the ring in the garden in a ladder match. Only one ladder. Only one ladder. And I know nowadays in WWE we got all these ladders around the ring. We just need one. Let's do it like that. Let's see who the true Intercontinental champion is. I mean, the true NXT Cruiserweight champion is. Is it Devlin? Is it Escobar?
I love it. And yeah, I'm excited for this. And I called this a while ago. I think even like when the pandemic first started and they had the NXT Cruiserweight tournament, to crown a new winner, that Santos Escobar eventually won. And then Jordan Devlin kept saying, I'm still the champion. He was tweeting it out. And he was stuck overseas. And so when I read that, I was like, oh my God, they have two NXT Cruiserweight champions. I think I said a long time ago, I was like, this could easily be a unification match down the road. It could be like Shawn versus Razor. And so I'm so happy they're doing this. I was live tweeting during NXT this week, and I said, I hope they have a ladder match to unify the titles. And then as soon as Shawn Michaels came out, I retweeted, quote tweeted my tweet and said, I called it. I was like, oh my God, so happy. So Shawn Michaels, it was such a great spot right there. I love it. And, it just perfectly, the symbolism there. I love it. And that's one thing, Philip, I mean, I give NXT credit is they're not afraid to take classic storylines from back in the day and recycle it for an updated version of it right now. Like case in point, this ladder match here to unify two titles.
I bet Shawn was talking to Hunter like, hey, I got an idea. Remember that thing I did with Razor like 25 years ago? What if we did that?
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, they redo In Your House. They've redone War Games.
Or Halloween
Havoc, Great American Bash. They've done other stipulations from back in the day. I love it. There's no reason if a match stipulation that happened or a pay-per-view theme that happened 20, 25, 30 years ago, there's no reason you can't recycle it and do it to a brand new audience.
I'm still waiting on NXT TakeOver Greed or Sold Out. Sold!
But that's my thing. It's like, listen, when you recycle some of these classic stories and moments, one, you're going to get the nostalgia from the older fans, but then for the younger audience who didn't grow up with that originally, it's going to be fresh to them. And if you've done correctly, these storylines are great. So if it's a slam dunk, if you redo it, it's going to be, you're going to win over these younger audience. Be like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then they'll be like, someone can tell them, well, yeah, that was similar to this matchup like 20 years ago. And then they'll go look on the WWE Network or Peacock and rewatch that. So it's a great way to recycle it. There's no reason something that's 20, 30 years old, enough time has passed, you can easily recycle some of that stuff.
Hey, the old saying goes, something old can be new again.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I'm all for this. I'm super excited for this match here. This might also be possible match of the week contender right there. So I'm so looking forward to it. And then as Shawn Michaels is walking backstage, he runs into Adam Cole, and they have a little stare down. And Philip, what do you think of that little stare down moment between the two of them?
My reaction was, "Oh, good God!" Like, don't tease me like that. Don't tease me like that, man. Come on, bro.
What do you think that means symbolically? Like,
it's. I mean, like we for the past couple years, like past like 5 or 6 years, the conversation, well, who's the closest to Shawn? You know, we when Rollins was on his high, we said him. Obviously, Dolph. Taker has said AJ because of how smooth he is in the ring, but Adam Cole's been waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
He's been waiting in the wings. Like even in Ring of Honor when he was with the Kingdom, like there was just this cockiness, this arrogance about him, and those cold blue eyes. You're like, oh, there's something there. There's a Shawn vibe there. And honestly, like, don't tease me like that. If we get like, hey man, if we get Shawn versus Adam, give him 25 minutes, and Saudi Arabia never happened, all will be forgiven. HBK. That's all I'm saying.
I wonder if they will go down that road and have Adam Cole versus Shawn Michaels.
He better have some hair, though. That's all I'm saying.
He's been growing it. You can see under the cowboy hat.
Like we can get him. We get him a lace front. Well, we'll do something.
I was hoping he was wearing his cowboy hat. I was hoping he was going to maybe like tilt it to Adam Cole and keep walking, but he didn't do that. But tap the hat to him. But
yeah, we could have like a Ric Flair versus Buddy Rogers type moment, have a match,
passing the
torch. Yeah.
I was laughing because I took that photo and put it on Instagram and said, "Hello, father. Hello, son," or "Hello, dad." Hello. So because they just look like father and son type of situation. But no, I thought that was a great. I mean, if anything, who knows if this is going to lead to anything? It could have been just a one-time thing, but at least it's acknowledging the little Easter egg right there that hey, we know Adam Cole gets compared a lot to Shawn Michaels. So if anything, that's just acknowledging we hear the WWE universe out there. We know what's going on. So, but that was still a very cool moment. So yeah, Adam Cole was walking to the ring because they had a big contract signing for his match against Kyle O'Reilly at TakeOver. It's going to be unsanctioned match. We saw the security footage. Adam Cole went to go attack Kyle O'Reilly at his jiu-jitsu gym earlier in the week. Dojo, and they broke it up. So the tension between the two of them is really heating up now. William Regal was pissed. He said, "You guys have been chasing each other, got the police involved. This is ridiculous. We're going to make this match unsanctioned match." I love, before they signed the contract, Adam Cole said, they came to Undisputed Era, formed, 3.5 years ago. And at the time, he thought they had to stick together, but he realized he could have done all this on his own. He didn't need them. He realized they were all weaker than him. And he wants to prove that he's the best of them all, while Kyle O'Reilly grabbed the microphone, which, by the way, he was wearing a Joy Division shirt, which was very interesting. He had the Metallica shirt last week, he had the Joy Division shirt this week, so I'm kind of curious what band shirts he's going to be wearing each week now.
So he went from thrash metal to post-punk.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like, you think about it, Undisputed Era is dead right now, so he can't wear Undisputed Era merch right now, which we did see Cameron Grimes try to make an offer to Roderick Strong. He wants to buy the IP and keep the Undisputed Era brand name going, get some wristbands and armbands and t-shirts going. But we saw Roderick Strong run into Kyle O'Reilly earlier tonight and wants to work with him to take out Adam Cole, but Kyle O'Reilly told Roderick Strong that, hey, Undisputed Era is dead. We're all on our own now. So Roderick Strong's pissed off, upset. On a side note, I don't know where Bobby Fish is, man. This guy's been gone for months now, so I don't know where he falls into this whole storyline.
He's injured again, I think.
Yeah, I know he got injured at TakeOver or War Games, but it's like, where's he been now? Where's he going to fall in this whole storyline? I guess they were like, screw it, we got to keep this story going. If he's not here, it's fine.
Yeah, we can work around him.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. And so then, Kyle O'Reilly said, listen, when we came into this business, we were like, pit bulls. We were taking out everyone. We have heat with the GM now. There's a lot of people in the back who don't like us because of our tactics. And he said, and this was a strong line that I really enjoyed, was he said, I sold my soul for the Undisputed Era, but I want it back now. And that was such a great babyface line to really prove a point that he realized the errors in his ways as a heel with Undisputed Era, and he wants to do right by now. I thought that was a powerful moment. Ultimately, they sign it, and then they kind of get in each other's face. I thought this was a really great contract signing. How about you, Philip?
It was great, man. So you're telling me this is a collector's item now?
Dude, hold on to it, man. I got mine in the closet, too. I got a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, seriously, if you're a fan of Undisputed Era, buy the merch while you can on WWEshop.com. Who knows?
Absolutely. Go shock some systems.
Exactly. So I think Adam Cole already has a new shirt, but I don't know about Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly's going to get a new shirt. I wonder at TakeOver he's going to get like a new theme song, some new merch. We know Roderick Strong already has
a new theme.
Did he go back to that one before he joined the Undisputed Era?
I don't know.
Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I forgot what the old one was.
It didn't sound great. I was like,
So, I mean, they're all going to get repackaged in some way. So this is another match where I'm curious, whoever wins. Actually, I take that back. I assume Kyle O'Reilly's going to win here, and I could see Adam Cole move on over to Raw or SmackDown in this situation.
I kind of wanted them all to go together.
As a group?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. But I mean, looking at this, unsanctioned, William Regal said NXT is not responsible for what the you two do to each other. And you saw like the post, like the exclusive clip of him like flooring Regal, punching him and whatnot. They need blood in this match. Yeah,
oh, absolutely. It's a grudge match. They both hate each other now. So I mean,
this is like Gargano and Ciampa a few years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, between this match, Walter versus Ciampa, Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar, those three are the ones I'm really looking forward to. Those could be all matches to steal the show, no pun intended. Finn Balor and Karrion Kross, I'm looking forward to as well. I'm curious how Karrion Kross is going to work in the ring with Finn Balor. But overall, I'm super excited for all this. And yeah, like I said, the winners and losers, who's going to move on over to Raw or SmackDown the following week. So I cannot wait for this show. Both nights, I should say, of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. I'm super excited for it. All right, let's move on over to SmackDown this week. And SmackDown, Philip, I don't know about you, if you want to give me your thoughts on this. I really thought the show, the meat of it all was just the beginning and the end. And there's a lot of filler in between.
Honestly, that's the only thing we can talk about.
Of significance,
That's the only thing we should talk about because nothing else really happened. I mean, Bianca beats Natalya and slaps Sasha. It's become a meme. What did the five fingers say to the face? Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and then we look at this. Daniel Bryan has yet found another way to get into a WrestleMania main event. It's like every couple years. That WrestleMania main event, it would be a shame if I turned into a triple threat match. And like, somebody put out a list. I think it's a wrestling historian on Instagram. Like how frequently this has happened to the Royal Rumble winner. I'm like, damn, this has happened a lot.
Really? Where the Royal Rumble winner got kind of screwed over
and put into a triple threat. I mean, Benoit, Shawn, and Hunter. You look at Becky, Ronda, Charlotte. You look at Daniel, Batista, and Randy.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 24, Orton, Cena, and Triple H. Like, this has happened quite a few times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the match, or the show started off, Daniel Bryan comes out to the ring with a steel chair and cuts a promo and says, listen, I made Roman Reigns tapped out at Fastlane, but I did not win, and so he just thinks it's unfair. He should be Universal Champion, or he should get another opportunity against it. And he says he doesn't want to be handed anything. He'll fight for it. And he says, give me a match against Roman tonight on SmackDown. And he said he wasn't going to leave the ring until he gets his way. So he pulled out the chair, sat down, and sat through a commercial break. Comes back out, and we see Edge come to the ring. Or excuse me, we see Adam Pearce come out first. And he says, listen, I know you're mad. Let me think about it. Edge comes out, slaps the microphone out of Adam Pearce's hand. He goes into the ring and cuts a great promo and says, listen, you had your opportunities against Roman. You lost both of them. Don't be trying to, this is my turn. I won the Royal Rumble. I was entered at number 1. I went over an hour. I defeated all other opponents, including yourself. This is my time now. I've been wanting this, and I'm glad Philip he acknowledged this. He says that WrestleMania Night 2 will be 10-year anniversary of when he had to retire and relinquish the big gold belt, the title that he never lost. And so he's just really mad at Daniel Bryan for trying to stick his nose into his story here. And so, as much as Edge is kind of going more heelish here, I still sympathize with Edge here because I do believe him. I really agree with his stance is. And so Adam Pearce, or no, go ahead. What are you guys say?
Edge isn't heel. He's frustrated. Look, man, this is all I've ever wanted to do since I was a child. I wrote to a newspaper so I could get free training because my mother couldn't afford to pay for it. Mm-hmm. This has been my dream, and it was taken away from me, and I busted my ass to get back here. This is my moment. I deserve it. You had your moment like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You won. This is my time. This is time for me to right a wrong. You've been WWE champion since you've come out of retirement. I haven't. I need this.
Yeah, I love this promo. I love this whole back and forth between them. And if anything, I think Daniel Bryan's really add an extra layer to this storyline between Edge and Roman. The three of them, it's really become more personal with Daniel Bryan's involvement.
And I put this out on the Bulletcast feed. 2011, Edge retires. 2016, Daniel retires. Roman doesn't retire, but he has to step away due to leukemia. Now all three of them are in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting story. But honestly, man, I didn't want to see this. I didn't want to see a triple threat. I did not. I wanted to see Edge versus Roman.
Okay.
I mean, it's spear versus spear, all that other stuff. I mean, you look at it, man. Edge is like, this used to be my show. And then Roman's like, oh, okay, this was your show. I'm not only holding down this show, I'm holding down the other show I'm not on. I'm holding down this whole company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a story there that I found really intriguing. And Edge, him being involved, man, him being back, it brings back that extra oomph that's really been needed in promo and character work.
Yeah, what's also interesting was I like how Daniel Bryan said, listen, I'll fight for this. So he cut a very babyface promo as far as, I don't want anything handed to me. I will fight for it again. He brought up a good point. He's like, as Edge says he won the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan said, like, listen, I went over 40 minutes in Elimination Chamber. I had to fight Roman right after that. And he's been on a tear as of late. So Daniel Bryan, from his standpoint, he feels he's just as valid a reason to have a match against Roman as Edge does.
Daniel's kind of a heel, if you really think about it. Because like he blasted into the Elimination Chamber. He wrestled Roman, lost. Wrestled him again, lost. This is what a heel would do. One more chance, please, 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 please. He's being a pest. He's being a pest.
I did like how he brought up a couple of scenarios. He said, "How about this? How about Edge and Roman face each other night one, and then I fight the winner on night two?" And that's something a lot of people online were kind of hoping for, because it would be very similar to like what Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan Pro Wrestling's been doing lately, the last couple of years with Wrestle Kingdom. Like, they'll have one match on night one, and then the results from that will face someone else the next night. So I think a lot of people were kind of hoping to see a similar storyline with New Japan. He said, like, he was trying to come up with these different scenarios in the ring, but ultimately he said, I'll do whatever it takes. Later on in the night, we see Roman in the office. Edge comes walking in, and he tells Roman, it's like, listen, Daniel Bryan's trying to get caught up in our business, our storyline, our moment. So it's almost like they're on the same page as far as like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So even though, if that makes sense, as far as, Edge is telling Roman, like, dude, Daniel Bryan's trying to get caught up in our storyline. And if Daniel Bryan gets involved, Roman at that point, he can get pinned and you can lose the title. You don't have to get pinned to lose the title here. So he really started putting those nuggets in his head. So that one, I really enjoyed that aspect as well. It's like they're trying to get on the same page here. And then Roman ultimately told Adam Pearce later in the night, he's like, listen, I'm only wrestling one match WrestleMania weekend. And I think that was the groundwork for why Adam Pearce ultimately made his decision later tonight. It has to be a triple threat, because if Roman's only going to wrestle once, I got to get all three guys together in the same ring at the same time, which we saw ultimately in the last segment of the night. Adam Pearce announced that it was going to be a triple threat match, night number 2. And then they all start going at it. And then Edge, takes the chair, and he puts the chair under Daniel Bryan and Roman's heads, and he was going to go out of the ring and do like a chair shot. What'd you think about that from Edge? That was kind of a little more of a heelish tactic there.
He's pissed off. He's upset. This was his moment, and Daniel stole it. Like I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I might have done the same thing. Probably not to Roman, more to Daniel, but yeah.
Yeah. So early prediction, man. Who do you think is going to win this match?
Honestly, I don't even know.
I'm confused too, man.
I gotta let it simmer for a little bit. But you know what? The past couple years, the people who have won the Rumble have won the title at Mania. Seth and Becky, and then Charlotte and Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Edge doesn't win.
Yeah,
Maybe Roman just walks out.
Maybe Roman, just retains. Maybe Daniel wins and kind of repeats WrestleMania 30.
Hold up. Roman retains. The next night on SmackDown, Edge comes out there, calls out Daniel, like, this is your fault. You know? Yeah, that's what's up.
I don't know, man. There's so many different scenarios here. Or maybe Edge wins the title, but he pins Daniel Bryan, so Roman still looks strong. Maybe Daniel wins and recreates that moment from WrestleMania 30 when he won in New Orleans. I mean, there's so many different scenarios here.
You know what? If Edge won and brought back the big gold, nobody would be mad. I'm going to just put it out. I'm just put it out there in the universe. Vince, Bruce, John Laurinaitis, I don't care who hears this. Bring back the big gold. We will forgive you guys for the past couple of years.
Exactly. So, overall, man, I'm looking forward to this main event now. Let's see. We'll just quickly touch on. So, let's see. WrestleMania 37, the card. So, night one, it's going to be Sasha Banks taking on Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
They need to main event. No other question about it. They need to be the last match on that night.
Really? Why is that? Because there's been a big debate online.
Look, the people in the community, like in the black community, we're getting a little antsy. We're getting a little antsy right now. You know, this is history. You know, I've told you this. The last time two black people were in the main event of a pay-per-view for WWE was 2001. Booker and Rock. That was the last time. It's not even just that. It's women's history. It's everything. You know. But plus, like, we don't need to do this. It's not hard. Bianca won the Rumble. Put them at the last match. Be done with it.
Yeah.
Be done with it. You know.
You say that over Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship?
I do. Like, we had this conversation a couple of days ago. When Brock's Universal Champion, how many times did the WWE title main event the show? Not a damn time. If they don't do it again, it's absolutely fine. It's okay. Drew still gets his moment of wrestling for the title in front of a crowd. Honestly, I think Bobby should win there too, but that's just my whole personal thing.
Yeah. Well, case in point, when Kofi won against Daniel Bryan in New York a couple years ago, that was not the last match of the night. Yeah. So you could still have big moments throughout the card as well.
Yeah. Well, we remember WrestleMania 3. Remember the Intercontinental title match. It wasn't the last match on the card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like big things like that. And the ladder match we just talked about with Razor and Shawn, not the last match on the card.
Yeah. So, the order placement, I think it's not so much a big deal anymore as it once was. So, let's see. Also for night one, we already talked about this. So Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, Bad Bunny taking on The Miz, New Day taking on AJ and Omos, Braun Strowman taking on Shane McMahon, and then Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. That was added, and that came after. So Seth Rollins took on Shinsuke Nakamura this week. Great match. It was great seeing just Shinsuke being really aggressive, taking out Seth Rollins. Ultimately, Seth Rollins picked up the victory. Cesaro came running out to the ring. They started fighting, and then Seth Rollins made his way out, and then he cut a backstage promo, and Cesaro came running up and started spitting him in the back area. What'd you think of that whole segment?
Bro, I thought that was funny. I mean, bro, Claudio Castagnoli versus Tyler Black. Woo! Some of Ring of Honor's finest. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, my boy Seth Drip Rollins. Come on, man. Put him at the beginning of night one. Let him tear it up for 20 minutes real quick.
Well, it was interesting. So they're really focusing on Cesaro in the swing on Seth Rollins, and like a couple weeks ago,
he's gonna swing him like 100 times at Mania.
I was gonna say, how many times do you think he's gonna spin him around?
I wonder what's the most he's ever done.
I gotta look it up, but maybe it could be 37 times. Like,
we gotta think about house shows too. He's probably done like 50 at a house show or something.
My only thing is, like, they're really focusing on the swings, but not a whole lot else as far as substance goes for this rivalry. So I hope they kind of add.
That's what WWE does when they have two guys who they are really good workers. The story doesn't really make a lot of sense. They just rely on the match to be really well, kind of like with Sasha and Bianca.
Yeah. Let's see. So night number 2, let's see, Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan. We just talked about that. Asuka taking on Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss in his corner taking on Randy Orton. It was announced Big E taking on Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. And this was kind of an interesting situation here. So on SmackDown, it was Apollo Crews along with Otis and Chad Gable taking on Big E and the Street Profits. Dude, this match was pretty fun. I mean, there was one point where Montez, springboard off the ropes, and then Chad Gable caught him into suplex. Was it like a night? Oh my God!
Was it like Northern Lights?
Northern Lights, that's the word.
Bro,
yeah.
put some kind of title on Chad Gable. He's too raw.
Dude, that his strength and his athleticism is so good. But dude, Montez Ford in this match was awesome as well. But so it led to chaos all outside, and then Cruz slammed and pinned Big E and got the victory over him in this match. So I wonder, he's gonna get this victory here, but he's still gonna lose at WrestleMania.
I think Apollo Crews is going to be the new Intercontinental Champion.
Really? You think so?
Yes. I'm excited, man.
It should be good.
I think it's him, and he does the angle slam pretty well, too.
And that's what Tommy said before. Let me ask you this. What do you think about Apollo Crews and his old accent now?
It's fine. He's actually Nigerian. I don't see why it's a problem.
Which is a lot of people. There's like a debate online if he should just drop it and just talk normal like he always does.
He's actually Jamaican. I mean, not Jamaican. I was thinking Kofi for a second.
Sorry.
He's actually Nigerian. I don't understand. I mean, you know, like
Kofi's
how like
from Ghana.
Well, that was a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like the thing where like people from like who live out here that were like from New York, as soon as they go back, they pick it up. Maybe he was chopping it up with some family, and it just came back. I'm
just waiting for the moment. Remember when I think you posted the video? Was it Triple H called out Kofi? It's like, hey, what happened to your Jamaican accent? And then Cody Rhodes and everyone was laughing in the ring. But
we never got an answer.
I never answered it.
Well, actually, in an interview, he kind of like let it slip, and then so Vince was like, "All right, forget it."
Yeah. So that's been announced for WrestleMania. Because my thing also, why I might be thinking Apollo's going to win, is because Apollo's lost so many matches to Big E already. He's due for victory at this point. And then with this new repackaged gimmick, what better way to kind of set him off on some big momentum is getting the IC title and going on a big reign there. So we've seen that, he does pretty well with the title. He was US champion last year. So, gonna be looking forward to that. And then, last but not least for night number 2 was also announced Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn. The KO show happened. Sami Zayn came out and says he has a trailer made for his documentary just about the whole conspiracy. And then he said, was it what's the guy's name? Jake Paul?
One of the other problem childs besides problem children besides Tessa Blanchard.
So he said,
look, man,
he's going to come out next week. They're going to do a big red carpet next week, and he's going to show up.
I'm going to say this all. I'm going to say it all. Against Mania, we need celebrities. Those Paul dudes, I don't care for them. I don't watch their content. I don't need them on WrestleMania. El Generico and Kevin Steen, give them 15 minutes. They're going to tear it up.
I was going to say, we know their history. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, I mean, they're real life best friends. We know their long history, Ring of Honor, NXT, WWE. They put on banger matches. So I'm just happy for them that they're going to get the opportunity to do it on a WrestleMania stage. So that should be a lot of fun to see that match play out. And so, with that being said, I'm just double checking here. So we got the SmackDown Women's, WWE, Raw Tag Teams, Universal, Raw Women's, Intercontinental. So the last match or last set of titles that is yet to be declared yet is the SmackDown Tag Titles.
They're going on the pre-show. We already know.
Yeah, my guess is probably going to be Ziggler and Rude defending against maybe Street Profits, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, maybe Chad Gable and Otis. Who do you think is going to potentially walk out of there? I could see Dominic and Rey Mysterio winning it, father and son, because that's what Rey said in his promo this week. His goal, his last thing he wants to accomplish in wrestling is him and his son holding gold together. So that's my early prediction. That's probably going to be the matchup eventually. They're going to announce this week.
It's fine. It's the SmackDown Tag Titles. That's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point maybe they should unify the tag titles into one. And that way those people can appear on Raw and SmackDown.
Do that with the women, too.
Yep. Yeah. So, I hear ya. So, so 11 matches so far for WrestleMania. So, it's starting to shape up, man. 2 nights. Looking forward to it. So, we're on the road to WrestleMania in less than 2 weeks now. Super excited. I'm excited for that whole week of WrestleMania week between Raw, SmackDown, NXT TakeOver, Hall of Fame. WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So a lot of stuff to talk about in the coming weeks. So good stuff. All right, Philip, let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Where can all the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram, at Heel Antwine, HeelAntWine. The Bulletcast on Instagram, The Bulletcast on YouTube, at Bulletcast on Twitter. Check me out on the Jobber Tears Podcast Network, wherever you listen to podcasts, and they're on Instagram. I was on Coffee Talk with Friends with my homie Sir Wilkins from New York. You know, we had to chop it up real quick. Had to let the marks know that Kenny's not all that great. Hasn't really been great. You know what I'm saying? Had to let you all know that
I agree.
Omega's not all that. You know, Tommy understands. You know?
Have you seen Tommy's impression of Kenny Omega?
I have, and I
that's right.
I completely agree. You know what I'm saying? Kenny's not all that great. Never has been. Never will be. And that's the bottom line, because the microphone Messiah said so. Okay.
You tell him,
Tommy.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all.
Where can the Kliqsters find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IronFist1982.
And I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well, YouTube. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform, inthekliq@gmail.com. Get the merch, link in our bio for all that good stuff. Philip, once again, thank you so much for subbing in for Richard this week. We really do appreciate it. I cannot thank you enough. That was really generous of you. Devoting your time. We got so much Philip this week between a couple episodes in the Kliq. Got Bulletcast stuff. You're making appearances everywhere, man. You are doing big things. I'm proud of you.
You're the MVP.
MVP. You should be added to the Hurt Business.
I am their chief brand officer.
So on that note, let's go home, and that's the bottom line because Huey said so.